All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. This is a team obviously looking to take its next step, this time to make a Super Bowl and win it after a really strong 2023 season. And of course, it's all about the Lions doing what they've done and continuing to make really smart moves. And one of the things we always like to talk about on this channel is you can tell how smart a team is, how good of an operation they're running in the front office. Not always by the moves they make and are public with, but sometimes the moves they don't make or aren't public with. And there's a good example of this going on with the Lions right now. So earlier on this offseason, the Lions have been very vocal about bringing back some key guys on the offensive line. We've got some breaking news right now about the Lions already making a big move, bringing back somebody else. We'll get into this report. We'll talk about more of what it means on the other side. Let's go ahead and pull it up, though. This was a tweet or a post on X, whatever the kids call it, from Cam Marino saying this, the source, the Detroit Lions and star receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown are in discussions that would give St. Brown's contract an extension of at least 3 years at an annual salary of $25 million. Extending St. Brown is a priority for the Lions as they enter their offseason. All right, so we've seen the Lions, right? They've made a smart move, I think, in terms of focusing on and being public about the offensive line. They're doing right by Amon-Ra St. Brown. But here's one thing you're not hearing a lot about. You're not hearing a lot about Jared Goff, who's entering the final year of his contract. Jared Goff had an outstanding season. He is clearly a franchise quarterback. But I think by keeping the Goff conversations very private and not making it public, in fact, potentially even handling Goff a lot differently than they are Amon-Ra St. Brown, is a really smart move by Brad Holmes and company. And I'll get that into more detail on that in a second. But first, Lions fans in the comment section below, now that we've taken a few weeks away from that just disappointing NFC Championship game, let's look back at the 2023 season, and in the comment section below, give us your offensive MVP for 2023. Can't say Jared Goff, though. Give us someone outside the quarterback. Was it one of the linemen, one of the running backs, one of the receivers? There's a lot of great options. Give us your offensive MVP, not Jared Goff, in the comment section below. But let's talk about what the Lions are doing here with Goff, right? Because Goff has had an outstanding 2-year run with Detroit. He's played like a Pro Bowl caliber player, obviously, all pro level. In some ways, he's been close to an MVP at times. And there was a long time there where a lot of people thought he would get a huge mega deal potentially. He's going into the last year of his deal right now, 2024. He's got a cap hit of about $27 million, which is a steal. And Jared Goff has been very public about the fact he wants a deal, but it's out of his control. He says, listen, it's not up to me. It's up to them. I don't know. I've done all I can do, which is code for he and his agent have put in an offer to Holmes and company and the GM, the whole front office staff up there in Detroit. And they've come back and said, that's not really what we're looking at right now. Now, look, I don't think the Lions are moving off Jared Goff. Jared Goff will be the quarterback for the foreseeable future, at least. I'm talking at least 2-3 years in advance, maybe even more. But I really love the fact that the Lions are playing the Jared Goff conversations a little more hardball than they are with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a little less public than they are with the offensive linemen. And here's why. Jared Goff, prior to coming to Detroit, had a couple of years there with the Los Angeles Rams where the word out was he's overrated. He's injury prone, he's actually average, and he's basically built up by Sean McVay, right? He's much closer to Baker Mayfield than he is to Joe Burrow. That was the prevailing wisdom. Over the past couple of years, he's looked like a legitimate superstar. But right now, everyone knows this. The Lions know this. Jared Goff knows this, that the situation in Detroit is absolutely perfect for Jared Goff. And Ben Johnson is returning, of course. A lot of their big playmakers are returning. Amon-Ra St. Brown getting a big deal. Jared Goff is in the perfect situation for him right now. He will literally not be in a better situation among the 31 NFL teams for him. And the Lions know that. Because of that, they do not have to give him a big, massive, huge market-setting deal. They don't have to do what teams like Dallas did with Dak Prescott and give him a deal worth more than he should be and hurt their long-term success of their franchise. But let's take a second here and really dive into why Jared Goff is such a good fit for Detroit and why the Lions set him up for success. So this was a report that came out today, and I'll just read from it right here. In today's NFL, over 83% of all offensive snaps come with the quarterback in some form of shotgun formation. Some quarterbacks, notably Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, take over 95% of their snaps in the shotgun. That's not what Jared Goff does. The Lions quarterback is comfortable working under center, and the offensive scheme plays to Goff's ability. That's the key part there. Goff was one of just 2 quarterbacks who was not in the shotgun at least 75% of the snaps in 2023. Goff and the Lions operated in the gun just 74.1% of the time. Goff was statistically better when under center than in the gun too. While there was a little difference in completion percentage, Goff averaged 2 yards per attempt more and over 2.6 more air yards per attempt from under center. He also had a lower sack rate, lower interception rate when under center as well. So again, the Lions situation, their strategy, their scheme, their Ben Johnson offense, their personnel is just perfect for Jared Goff. And Goff knows this, and the Lions know this. So with all this being said, Goff's not going to leave because he's not going to go to a better situation. And the Lions want Goff there. I think a deal's going to happen. I think there's going to end up being probably a 3-year, 4-year extension where it's set up in such a way where it's a very cap-friendly deal. They'll load it up in a certain way so that way it's probably get a good signing bonus, but very backloaded at the end. I'm thinking like a 3-year, maybe $100 million extension, $120 million extension, where the cap hits are pretty small, and then he'll have just a huge salary cap hit, and let's say the year 3 of that deal, let's say $60 million, something crazy. In which case, at that point, the Lions would restructure or they'd put void years on the back end to lower the cap hit. That's the deal that's coming for Jared Goff. If Goff doesn't want that, then the Lions are just put up in a perfect situation anyway. They play out 2024, they franchise tag Goff and go through 2025, and they get through these next 2 years of the Lions playoff Super Bowl window. Because let's be honest, the Lions are in a Super Bowl window right here, right? We all know this, right? The NFC is very winnable, right? The NFC North, I mean, you've got the Packers, I think, are still a little bit away. The Bears are two steps away. The Vikings are going through a rebuild. The NFC North is clearly the Lions' division. The NFC at whole is not great. The Lions are really in the middle of a 2-year championship opportunity here. And Holmes and company knows, hey, listen, if Goff doesn't want to do a team-friendly deal, and it'll give Goff a lot of money, he'll get a huge paycheck with that. But if he doesn't want to do that deal, we'll play out 2024, we'll franchise tag him, and then at the end of this title window, this next 2 years, 2024, 2025, we'll reapproach it then. And again, all of this is just to say this is just smart roster management by Brad Holmes and the entire front office of the Detroit Lions. We see a lot of teams overpay. The Minnesota Vikings overpaid for Kirk Cousins. They reached too early. The Dallas Cowboys gave Dak Prescott a horrific extension for them. Great for Prescott, horrific for them. And we've seen what's happened with Dallas in terms of their deficiencies. Jared Goff is going to be a Detroit Lion for the medium to long term. I think that's undeniable. But I think the Lions are playing it smart. They understand, and Goff knows this too, that Detroit is the perfect place for Goff. They have all the leverage. They can sit and wait and force Goff to either sign a team-friendly deal or just do 1-year deals a couple years out and focus on it later on in the future. So in conclusion here, I really love what the Lions are doing with Jared Goff. They're playing a little more hardball with him, being less public than they were with the offensive line position and, of course, with Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is smart strategy by Brad Holmes and the entire front office. And again, it's one of those reasons why the Lions have become one of the smartest teams in football and also one of the best.